The storylines, oh, they are a plenty this evening. A Hollywood script that came down for this December 16th matchup, the rare double revenge goaltender matchup. Both Tristan Jarry and Stuart Skinner set to start this evening, both against their former teams. But it doesn't stop there. Leon Draisaitl sits at 999 career points. Sidney Crosby, 2 points away from tying the Pittsburgh Penguins all-time record. One Mario Lemieux. Ever heard of him before? Then we got Quinn Hudson making his NHL debut. This is a good one for a Tuesday evening. We're down here at Dogpatch. We'll get you set for everything. So much to talk about. So little time. We could seriously pregame for 2 hours. Something tells us we'll still be drinking these beers in 2 hours. But hello, everybody. What up and welcome to Pregaming with BORDZY for a highly, highly, highly looked forward to game between the Penguins and the Oilers. Pregaming, it's brought to you by Bet365. Download the app today. 19 plus, because whatever the moment, you know it. Say it with me. It's never ordinary. Goddamn right. That voice you heard, joined by the one, the only Zach Laing, Langsy, and BORDZY. And Zach, it is a rare occurrence when McDavid versus Crosby is not the headline to start off this hockey game. Forgot to mention that Connor and Sid going head-to-head tonight in this one. But it is all about the goaltenders. It's 4 days after the trade goes down on Friday. This will be Stuart Skinner's Penguins debut. The second for Jarry. This is shout out Chris Knobloch and head coach Dan Muse of the Pittsburgh Penguins for letting this go down. I appreciate you boys. And of course, I appreciate my co-host Zach Laing. Give me a vibe check, brother. How's that beer tasting?
Oh, so good.
Cover for me while I split the G.
So great down here at Dogpatch. Yeah, great game tonight, man. I'm really excited for this one. I was doing my DFS show this afternoon from Nation HQ here with Brock Segan, and I was kind of saying to him, like, oh,
no, little
low, very close,
very close.
I didn't know we split the G.
I've been doing that. I've been doing that now.
That's good stuff. But as I was saying to my co-host Brock on the DFO show today, I cannot remember a more exciting regular season game in some time, purely from the narrative standpoint, right? For all of the reasons that you mentioned, it's a tremendous, tremendous outlook on this game tonight. So I'm excited for this one. Like, I am really, really excited for this one. Fascinated to see the storylines, right? I mean, Leon Draisaitl potentially getting his 1,000th point against the goaltender that has been, the Oilers' number one for the last 4 or 5 years. Just unbelievable storylines tonight.
Against his boy, Brett Kulak. Haven't even mentioned his name yet. Oh, yeah. My boy, who will be making his Penguins debut, coming against his former team, wearing number 77 for the Pittsburgh Penguins. So, different look for Brett Kulak. I still love him. Still think he looks handsome. But let's get caught up into the chat, see what's going on in here. You know it, Zach. Who's the first comment of the day? It's Austin. Of course it is. He says, BORDZY, fire up this fucking band, baby. Rest of you, you know the drill. Belts, bevies, conditioning, let's go. Don't let emotions get the best of you. Let's get the job done. Hope will never die. And then Bob Stoffer's in and says, my Johnny is tingling with the South Park voice. I got that one, at least. Mike's in. Anything less than 4 ounce stew is a loss in my mind. No, a win is a win is a win. But you do think that the Edmonton Oilers must be licking their chops tonight. They know the weaknesses of Stuart Skinner. I don't know if you've heard, Zach. Lateral movement, not an area Stuart Skinner typically excels in. So I love Leon Draisaitl anytime from his office. If the Oilers get a power play, they're working it to him. 0.1000. Joke Tyler made today as well. Do you think Stu will join the Leon Draisaitl 1000 bench clear? Just muscle memory takes over and he wants to celebrate with his boys.
Well, he's going to have the Oilers helmet on. Like, this is one thing that's going to be kind of weird in this game too, right? Like, you're going to have Tristan Jarry there with his, Penguin stick and Penguins helmet. Then you're going to have Stuart Skinner there with his Oilers helmet on. I was looking at the DFO goalies page on dailyfaceoff.com today, and it was really weird seeing Tristan Jarry with a, Penguins helmet with the Oilers name, and then the other way around for Skinner and the Oilers helmet and the Pittsburgh name. It's just weird stuff, man.
Here's my suggestion. Just swap. Why don't they just swap out? And I get obviously why they don't do that, but it'd be a pretty hilarious thing if they met at center ice and they're like, you know what? Fuck
it's like a jersey swap after the game, but it's a bucket swap before it starts.
Symmetry is beauty.
That's great.
I am excited to see what Tristan Jarry's full setup looks like. Same with Stuart Skinner. But after this, once again, we're only going to get one other matchup. Stuart Skinner returns to Edmonton in January of 2026. Connor's in. He says, have a feeling they will be playing to a defense, playing too defensively this game. And then Bob Stauffer had another one in here. He said, people saying they want to see Stu win tonight aren't true Oilers fans. This is a big game for the boys. JARRY to solidify his confidence that will carry on throughout the year tonight and silence the haters is what he meant to put there at the end. I think everybody wants to see Stuart Skinner do well, but never in the way of the Edmonton Oilers. If he dies, he dies. It's what has to happen tonight for the Oilers. And as I said, I think they're licking their chops. Cheryl's in. She says, may break a few traffic laws getting home for this game. Stoked. That's right, people. Drive safe. Also, holy shit, is it going to snow tomorrow down here in Edmonton?
Yeah.
I think we're doing an at-home version of Oilers Nation every day tomorrow. Just, what'd you say? It's like 20 centimeters, something
12
like that?
to 20 centimeters is what the forecast was this afternoon. From Chateau Laing, living downtown up on the 16th floor, facing east, we get a great view of all of the storms. And I'm really excited for this one tomorrow. Had a nice little blast for an hour or two last night. But hey, you know what? If you are going to be heading out tomorrow, make sure to drive safe. Pack an extra sweater or an extra jacket, extra pair of gloves. Got a little shovel. Just throw that in there. Throw that into the trunk as well. You never know if you might need it. But yeah, quite the weather storm coming Edmonton's way here.
I have an ultimate emergency roadside kit in the back of my trunk. I'm an acreage kid through and through. I moved in Sherwood Park 5 years ago. I've been an acreage boy my whole life. I will dig you out of the ditch. I was the guy that you'd see other people on that range road and they're sucked into the ditch. I'm pulling over. I'm putting on my big boots. I'm grabbing my collapsible shovel in the trunk of my car. I'm going to help dig you out because that's what you do. I've been dug out of the ditch way too many times before when I was first learning to drive. Woo, baby, it's tough out there, isn't there? Those country range roads that do not get plowed. Losh is in. He said Hudson already played an NHL game before. Yeah, you're right. Making his season debut for the Edmonton Oilers. I misspoke on that one. Darian, we're just a 16-game heater away from solving all of our problems. Absolutely. Lance with a simple cup, yeah.
Cup, yeah.
Northside Norm's in. Belt to ass. Hopefully we continue Beltmas moving along as Northside Norm. He made Mary Beltmas t-shirts and a coffee mug that he gave to Tyler upstairs.
That's awesome. Love going ass to belt with other teams.
I love when Zach says ass to belt. It's a good spin zone. Raph then, contrary to Bob Stauffer's statement, he says, I hope Stu shuts us out. Jackie then said, we're about to see a 0-0 Oilers shootout win tonight, boys, for therapy. We looked it up. Both goalies to record a shutout if you parlayed it together. What's 100 plus 100,000, something like that. I don't know. It was absolutely ridiculous. Don't think that's going to happen, but you could sprinkle on either one of them to get a shutout in this game. Zach, before we unpack everything about this, two things. One, I want to shout out the Nation Vacation coming up March 2026. As you do, as you must, pay the bills. Come down to Vegas. Come down to Sin City and party with the Nation crew. It's going to be a good time. Tickets, spots still available on nationgear.ca, but they are dwindling and dwindling fast. Run, don't walk over to nationgear.ca, and you can reserve your spot on, I'd say a once-in-a-lifetime trip opportunity, but we do this pretty much every single year. But the trip of 2026, let me tell you that. Zachary, it's obviously a revenge game for one Tristan Jarry, but we did get some news before this. Apparently, no video tributes for the Jar Man. I'm still working on the nickname. I don't know what it's going to be. Dan said Jarheads. I like referring to ourselves as Jarheads. Great Jake Gyllenhaal movie as well. But apparently no video tributes because why?
Yeah, so this is according to Dave Molinari, somebody who is not on a beat anymore. I think he must be a retired Penguins reporter, but he said on Twitter this afternoon, I retweeted it, quote, for those asking, the Penguins are not expected to have a tribute video for Tristan Jarry tonight. They are believed to have adopted a policy of giving such recognition only to guys who won a cup here. Of course, what has it been, like a decade since the Penguins have won a cup?
I mean, the guy still played like 10 seasons for you. I mean, I don't know what it's like to be a winner like that and run my franchise with multiple Stanley Cups. So I can only speak from the sideline, from the second place podium that we are as the Edmonton Oilers. But I think that's a little bit wild. That kind of means, but hey, that's what culture is. I was going to say that means if you don't win a cup, you are unsuccessful here as a Penguin, which at the end of the day, when you think about sports, that is the name of the game. You're there to win a championship, but I still think at the end of the day, it was a little surprising to see that tweet when you mentioned it to me. And then I was reading it that, hey, I guess the Penguins just do things a little bit differently.
It's kind of weird.
It's a little bit weird.
It is.
No, I'll say it's medium amounts of weird. That's just
that's
weird.
fair. That's fair. I mean, it is a storied franchise, and I get it. But like, you haven't been a playoff team for a number of years. How many guys are left on the Penguins right now that would get a tribute video in that situation? You know, Sid, Gino, Letang. Like, those are the longest serving guys.
Brian Rust, did he win one?
I don't know. Maybe.
The fact that I don't even know. The fact that I don't even know. That says something about that. I wonder what that message sends to Stuart Skinner as well, because I'm still going to yell it during this hockey game if he makes a great save here or there. Kill me, shoot me. All right, it's still muscle memory. It's like a sneeze when I see Stu make a big stop. But he makes his Pens debut, baby, after a weekend where he completed the process of his work visa to get into the United States of America. Same for Brett Kulak as well, but he is ready to go. There you see it on your screen, the trade that went down on Friday morning and was not the biggest trade of the day on Friday. Quinn Hughes goes later. Spencer Stastny was also another deal done on Friday as well. So Skinner and Kulak both set to make their debuts. Skinner wearing 74, Brett Kulak rocking 77, because I do believe it's Ryan Graves who already wears number 27. But Stuart Skinner, hey, we know him well. He leaves Edmonton with a 109, 62, and 18 record, 274 goals against with a 904 save percentage. He's remembered as a guy who helped take the Oilers to back-to-back Stanley Cup finals, but unfortunately could not get over the hump. We've talked about it a lot. I look back on the Skinner tenure fondly. I think he was nothing but a consummate professional, a guy that was good for the Oilers, stepped up and became a starter when Jack Campbell completely forgot how to play NHL hockey. He brought the team far. Yes, he struggled in the playoffs, but he was also unbelievable. Remember his shutout streak that went down last year? I also just thoroughly want to always mention how he would talk to the media. He would face the music after pretty much every single game and would wear it on the chin. And having to do that in your hometown, deal with everything that he had to deal with here in Edmonton. We all remember hearing last year death threats to his family, all that bullshit that goes down with a crazy hockey city that is Edmonton. He spoke to the media earlier today about how he found out about the trade. So let's take a listen here, Brett, if you could play this one for us.
How did you find out about the trade? And was it something maybe you were expecting? Did it catch you by surprise?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. In Edmonton, I don't know if you guys know, but there's been rumors probably going on for the last 5 years. So it's not that I really caught it by surprise, but yeah, just woke up one morning and got a call. Woke up to a call by Stan, and he was just telling me that there's a trade going on, and be ready for a call from Pittsburgh. And then I got on the phone with Kyle, and it was an awesome conversation. And yeah, I got the whole laydown on what's going on, getting the visas, travel, and all that stuff. So yeah, it was really smooth.
So it sounds like he knew that this deal was coming for quite a bit. I do think the Pickard-Skinner hugs that we were all reading into, I do think there was something to read into there. So point for us, gold star for all of us that were trying to sniff that one out. Stu had a good quote earlier today as well. He said, quote, "We're ripping off the Band-Aid right away. I kind of like it." Obviously, he's not the one returning to Edmonton. That will happen later in January 2026. And right now, Stu just gets a fresh opportunity with a fresh club that isn't in a hectic, toxic, I'll use the word, Canadian environment like Edmonton. And Stu, he's a UFA at the end of the season, so it's kind of unclear what the Penguins are going to do with Stu here. They have a number of goaltenders in the system as well. It's a little bit of a logjam. All I hope is that at the end of the season, Stuart Skinner plays well enough. He can earn himself a contract somewhere where he can pick his next destination and try and build a life. We know he's got a young family. Get away from Edmonton. Get away from all this bullshit that's gone down over here. But Zachary, today we say hello to an old friend, but it also feels like officially saying goodbye to Stu. The send-off.
I love it. I love that the Oilers get to play the Penguins so quickly for Tristan Jarry, for Stuart Skinner, for Brett Kulak's sake. I think this is good for all of them, right? This is a chance for everybody to kind of, as Stu said, rip the Band-Aid off and kind of move on. I don't know entirely how to feel about this, but one thing that I kind of noticed that was interesting in Skinner's comments was that he got a phone call from Stan Bowman informing him that Kyle Dubas was going to be calling him. If you listen to Tristan Jarry's first interview with the Oilers media on Saturday morning, he said that Kyle Dubas called him down to the rink to have the conversation about things. Just thought that was kind of interesting. I don't think that there's anything, too deep to read into that, but I kind of thought that was interesting there. I mean, listen, Hurt Noel Burton said it best in the chat a minute or two ago here. Stuart Skinner was a great Oiler. You can't change my mind. And I kind of tend to agree with him. Those first 2 years that Skinner was here were really good. He was a great goaltender, 905, 910 save percentages. He looked like the guy that was going to be able to carry the team. And, part of me wonders if it was a little bit too much too early for him here in Edmonton, right? He got thrusted into that starting role probably a little quicker than he should have been.
Definitely way quicker than he should have been.
He probably should have been a backup for a year or two behind Jack Campbell.
Only now should he have become the 1A type starter in that deal they had for Campbell.
It was a tough situation. And I think that there was, Skinner was a guy who stood on his head for the Oilers a lot of times. And listen, you can say what you will about what happened in the Stanley Cup finals in back-to-back years. He was a part of that team that helped the Oilers get there. And you can't convince me otherwise, especially last year, right? You think back to the ways that he played, when he was super clutch coming in against Vegas and against the Dallas Stars in the conference finals last year. He was on the top of his game there. He had like 3 shutouts in 4 games straight between the 2 series. He played some really big games for the Edmonton Oilers. And I think you made a great point as well. I mean, talk about somebody who has faced probably more criticism in Edmonton than anybody else over the last, 2 years here. And he stood up there and took it on the chin all of the time. He had such a great positive attitude. He was always trying to find a way to continue to grow as a player and as a person. And I think he did that in a significant way here in Edmonton. Truth be told, for as much as I was kind of ready for Skinner to be traded, I kind of prepared myself a little bit. I also kind of wasn't. Like, I really liked the guy. And I kind of feel bad for the way things kind of broke down here, because I think it would have been really special for a Southside Athletic kid to lift the Stanley Cup in the streets of Edmonton.
Whoa, what could have been? Would have been a statue in Edmonton, mustaches all over the city, babies named Stewart or Skinner, maybe all over the city. Who knows with the way the city is. But you're right, man. I was very bummed out. Like, it's a move that kind of needed to be done. There was a quote, another one here from Skinner. He said, "I think it's just kind of part of the business. It's a trade that needed to be done, and I think it's good for both teams." So I think Stu, he was ready to end this partnership. Also, I always joke, right, because it feels like we're talking about like we just lost a family member. Stu didn't die. He's just over in Pittsburgh. He is playing. However, I saw somebody on one of those Oilers fan accounts. I always laugh when people do this, but they tweeted a photo of Stuart Skinner and they put it in black and white with like his time of years together. And I was like, dude, he didn't die. Okay. Like, he's still alive. He just currently doesn't play for the Edmonton Oilers. So all the best to our pal, Stuart Skinner. We keep focusing on the fact that it's Stuart Skinner's first game against his old team. I honestly forgot this morning that I was like, oh yeah, Tristan Jarry's in his old building against a team that he played with for 10 seasons. It's just one hell of a headline tonight for this hockey game. Obviously, this is not his Oilers debut. Jarry got the win in his debut on Saturday against the Leafs, stopping 25 of 28. I'm curious what you thought of his game, because he looked good to me. I made this statement. I even think we turned it into a clip, but I was asking everyone, did we all just feel a strange sense of confidence and calmness when Tristan Jarry was in the crease on Saturday? Or am I reading a little bit too much into that? Because he looked big. He looked confident, was tracking pucks well, rebound control, whatever. He had a bad one. He's working on his new pads, trying to work in the new pads as well. But you think about it, Jarry, this is going to be an emotional game for him. Second one with a new club, first time visiting his old team where he spent 10 seasons and had some really good years with the Pens. Had a struggle of a year last year, but once again, made lifetime friends with guys named Sidney Crosby and Evgeny Malkin. It's really any kid's dream. He caught up with the media earlier today and was talking about what it's like for him to return to his old barn in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, it's different. Obviously, that's something that I always thought that I would never play for another team. Obviously, I had a contract with the Penguins and was traded to Edmonton, but that was always my thought. I loved Pittsburgh. I loved living there. I loved the city and everything that came with putting that jersey on. It was very special to me, and it was anything and everything I could have imagined. I think just kind of everything from playing my first game in Pittsburgh, playing my first game in Wilkes, being drafted. Like, there's so many. I think I've enjoyed the whole my whole time there and every experience that I've had, the ups and the downs, and I'm very grateful for it all.
There he is, grateful for the experience with the Penguins and excited for what he's got with the Edmonton Oilers. Zachary, obviously a lot of emotion tonight for one, Tristan Jarry. It's very funny to me that I think somebody even just mentioned it, Lauren. Both teams know their old goalie's weaknesses, so this one's going to be entertaining. There's a lot about this, Jarry, but I'm curious as well. What'd you think of him on Saturday?
Yeah, I was fine with this game. Solid yet unspectacular.
Quality start meter. Thumbs up.
I think so. A thumbs up for me. I mean, should have had a save percentage above 900, but there was that gross garbage goal late in the game that made it 6-3. But I thought it was a solid performance from him. You know, what have we heard about him? He's an athletic goaltender. He moves well within the crease. Very evidently something that the Edmonton Oilers wanted more from their goaltender. They evidently weren't getting it from Stuart Skinner. You know, I kind of wonder, like, you know, I'm not going to put too much into these early games with Tristan Jarry. You know, give me 5-10 starts, and then we'll really start to figure out who he is for this team. But, you know, with what we've heard about him being an athletic guy, you can kind of move the puck, like, kind of getting some shades of Mike Smith here. You know, you think about the way the Oilers played in front of Mike Smith a couple of years ago and how much it was talked about, like his ability to kind of be confident with the puck on his stick and help the defenseman move the puck. I think that's something that's really going to play to the benefit for this Edmonton Oilers team. Getting the puck up the ice is something that the Oilers have struggled with, you know, for the last year or two here, especially this season. More so than last one. So, yeah, fascinated to see the way things break out and break down here. Excited for Jarry. He was kind of the guy that I had penciled in as the most likely option for the Edmonton Oilers. Of course, there was more than enough smoke screens, you know, in the couple of weeks leading up to the deal here. Yeah, man, I'm happy about it. I think this is a solid thing. One thing that I will add, so I did look it up, okay? Brian Rust was a part of the last Penguins
nailed
team.
it.
You want to know who also had one game played for the Pittsburgh Penguins that season?
Let me look at their roster.
I feel like that's cheating if you're looking at the roster.
I have no idea.
Oh, no, he can look at the roster as much as he wants. It was actually Tristan Jarry.
Oh, yeah.
He played one game for them in that 2016-17 season. So he was technically a part of the Penguins that year.
So isn't he a Cup champion then?
Yeah, he has a ring. He does technically have a ring.
Meet the video tribute qualifications. Controversy here, Penguins. If you're going to say something like that, you better be consistent with it as well.
Just saying.
But all right, whatever. I'll take the motivation from one Tristan Jarry. Watch him just slap on a tribute video right in that first stoppage as well, and they'll make us all look stupid. Tonight will also be, it'd be a crime if I didn't mention him as he was my boy, Brett Kulak's first game for his new squad in the Pittsburgh Penguins. He was a fan favorite in Edmonton from me specifically, played 295 consecutive games for the Edmonton Oilers in the regular season, plus 75 playoff games over the last couple seasons. He was everything you could ask for of a third-pairing defenseman, a guy that would never bitch and complain, could play any role, first pairing, second pair, third pairing, right side or left side. Won me a block shot bet last year against Brett and Jake Wallman. And I do wish for the Edmonton Oilers, he was the obvious choice that had to go. He's, like I'll say, he was cheap and one of the only players on the Oilers without a no movement clause. So he was very expendable. The Oilers as well, they've made a concerted, committed effort here to getting younger on their defense score. Bush 26, Reggie 25, Emby 25, Stastny now 25. There you get a look at some of Brett Kulak's regular season numbers over the years. That doesn't even begin to talk about his playoff performance as well, because that is really when he started to turn it up a bit. I do think it's an interesting situation here for the Penguins. We'll get into their season in just a couple of minutes. King of the loser point, especially lately. We'll get into that. But they're right on that bubble, right, of whether they're going to be a playoff team or not. Obviously, you have Sidney Crosby, you have Karlsson, you have Letang, you have Malkin. They're always going to be trying to push. But Brett Kulak would be one hell of a trade deadline addition, especially $2.75 million. If you 50% retain that thing, I think a team would pay a pretty penny for a proven playoff performer in Brett Kulak. But it's going to be an emotional game for him as well. Skinner and Jarry are getting all the headlines. We are forgetting about one Brett Kulak. He as well spoke to the media this morning discussing the excitement that he has to join his new team and the appreciation he had for Edmonton and how he found out it was dealt.
Yeah, it was pretty early morning. Alberta time, it was like 7:15. I think I got a call from a GM, and I was still sleeping at the time because we played the night before. But so I saw my phone. I think I saw it like 7:30 or something, and saw I had a missed call. And you know, when the GM's calling at that time in the morning, I figured it was pretty important. So I called him back, and he just broke the news to me. I mean, I'm really excited for the new opportunity coming to this room, and obviously there's guys who have won here before, and there's a lot of guys who are hungry to win. So for the first time, so I think I kind of fit in that. Like, you know, I'm still hungry to win. I want to accomplish a lot in my career, so kind of to bring that and hopefully add a good element to the team.
God, I just love that guy. I'm going to miss that guy, Brett Kulak. Shout out to him. I like that he mentioned he was asleep, missed the first phone call from Stan Bowman. Zachary, what were you doing at 7:15 a.m. on Friday?
Oh, I was deep in slumber.
So was I.
Admittedly, I did not even like wake up until like 8:30, 8:40, and I rolled over and my phone was just blown up. And the trade had been live for like 30, 40 minutes already. And I was like, oh my God, it's a Friday, right? The Oilers played the night before. I was up late writing. That's usually a day that I sleep in a little bit, set the alarm for 9. I'll get up in a little bit. Nothing's
game the night
on
before
a Friday. Yeah, game the night before. Skinner spoke to the media. There's no way they trade him first thing Friday morning. Psych. It was a huge trade. Brett Kulak, an absolute warrior for the Edmonton Oilers. I think that's the best way we can put it. Never missed a single game during his entire tenure here. That counts for absolutely something massive. A great warrior for the Edmonton Oilers. He always stepped his game up in the playoffs. Admittedly, last year in the playoffs, I felt like there were some warts in his game. They were kind of starting to come out a little bit. He was asked to do
in the Cup final, but the first 3 rounds, it was him and Bouchard as that first pairing, and they dummied the Western Conference.
Yeah, they were
fell
really
apart
solid.
in the Cup final, though.
Yeah, and that's when he was kind of getting asked to play on his offside. It was tough sledding for him there, right? I think Skinner had some other really interesting comments today too, talking about how excited he was to have Kulak along for the ride heading to Pittsburgh here. Skinner was saying that the two of them have kind of grown close over the last number of years here. So you got some friendship from Edmonton, head into the streets of Pittsburgh. And like you said, I'm really curious to see what happens the rest of the year here with both of these guys. Do they stick with the Penguins? Do they gift flip somewhere else? Brett Kulak was acquired, of course, by the Edmonton Oilers March 21st, 2022 for a second-round pick in that year's draft and a conditional 7th-round pick and prospect William Legason. Rest in peace, Billy Legs. He's not gone. He's not dead. He's just not playing for the Edmonton
Put him in
Oilers.
black and white. Black and white photo again.
Yeah, exactly. I could imagine a similar kind of a return the Penguins could get for Kulak is something like a 2nd or a 3rd-round pick at the least with some salary retained. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there.
And let me tell you, the price the Oilers paid back then, well worth it to get, once again, 295 consecutive games plus 75 playoff games as well. Brett Kulak, I wish you the best. Also, Ryder's in, and he said, I use pre-gaming with BORDZY as a regular verb now. Whispered to myself about it on my drive home. Gotta wrap the gifts, pre-gaming with BORDZY, and take the garbage out tonight. And then that was about, so that's Ryder there from the Sauce. And then I want to just mention it because Ryder, there's a compliment to you. Brady was in and he said, I saw the nickname from the guy from the Sauce, Fistin Tristan. I was in stitches laughing. That's Ryder's nickname suggestion for Tristan Jarry. So we'll just leave it at that. We'll leave it at that. Dude, storylines aren't even done because Quinn Hudson, he's going to make his season debut for the Edmonton Oilers. It's not his NHL debut or anything like that. He played 2 games last year with the Oil. At the end of the season, he played against the San Jose Sharks as well as the LA Kings. Now, he doesn't have an NHL point to his name yet, but this year in the AHL, he has plenty. There you see it on your screen. 24 games, 16 goals, 12 assists, 28 points. He's got 8 power play goals to lead the team in that category and goals in general. He's leading all AHL rookies in scoring. He's 4th among all AHL skaters in points, 3rd in goals with those 16 there. Shout out Ryan Holt, Condors Holt. He's a great follow on X.com as well. And he has 25 points in his last 14 games, 14 goals, 11 assists, 25. The kid, Zachary, he's been red hot lately, and it feels like the Oilers, they have been calling up some names from Bakersfield recently, and he's not up here to be the 13th forward. He is going to play tonight, slotted on the 4th line this evening. So we set the over-under on 8 minutes and 30 seconds, the line on Oilers Nation every day today. I think it's probably going to be the under there as well. But I will say, depending how bad Andrew Mangiapane plays on the 3rd line tonight, maybe there could be a little swapsies going on there. Quinn Hudson, young guy, obviously good bloodline. We know his brother Lane Hudson just played against him in Montreal. There is one thing I will say. I like Quinn Hudson. He might have to commit to the bald look pretty soon. I was looking at his interview today, and we got to do something about that. But Zachary, Quinn Hudson, he has been lighting it up in the AHL. He's been scoring goals, scoring nice goals as well. Obviously, a number of them on the power play. But what are your expectations for Hudson tonight if we expect him to play less than 8 minutes and 30 seconds?
Not much tonight, that's for sure. We'll see what happens. Listen, this is a kid who I am absolutely fascinated with, right? Tremendous numbers offensively this season. First year in the pro ranks, playing the pro game, 16 goals, 28 points. Those are great numbers, right? I mean, he's like third in AHL scoring as a whole right now in terms of his points, and right up there in terms of the goals as well. Not a huge surprise, I suppose, because, boy, he put up some numbers in the NCAA last year in his final year with Boston University. 23 goals and 50 points in 38 games played. Even the year before, respectable 18 goals, 36 points in 40 games played. I think there's one little interesting kind of caveat in this. Shout out to Blue Bullet Brad on Twitter for mentioning this. 15 of Hudson's 28 points and half of his 16 goals have all come on the power play. He's not going to be playing on the power play here for the Edmonton Oilers, right? So it's going to be crucial for him to.
He's not bumping the nude, your Hyman?
Yeah, going to be tough sledding. I mean, I could maybe see him get out there for, the part of the 30 seconds that the top Oilers power play unit isn't on the ice for on a full 2-minute power play. But listen, I don't have huge expectations for him right now. But I think as a whole, the Edmonton Oilers are a team right now who is in desperate need of offense from their bottom six. Trent Frederick, where are you? Andrew Mangiapane, where are you? Adam Henrique, I can't blame that guy too much because he's been a dog this season. He's been great for the Edmonton Oilers. But there's been a real lack of offense from this bottom six of the Edmonton Oilers. I think that's why they called him up, just because of how much offense he's been putting up, right? And if he can come in and be a confident offensive player with the puck on his stick, that's what that bottom six needs, right? Get a couple shots on goal, get to the dirty areas, see what happens out there. But he's going to have to figure out a way to create a 5-on-5 because, no power play opportunities coming up here.
Quinn Hudson, good luck out there tonight, eh? I hope to see something good, but that bottom six, brother, I got some numbers here. I know you want to leave Rico out of it, but brother, could use a goal, could use something good. Also, Dre's back in. He says, sorry I'm late, Bordsy. Let's fucking get it done tonight. Follows it up with a cup, yeah.
Cup, yeah.
That's right. Lance also said, my wife now calls pre-gaming before going out as pre-gaming with Bordsy, even without Bordsy. I do appreciate that. She's told me that as well. Brady said Maximum Jones walking from the box. And then Conservative J, I predict first shot, first goal on Skinner tonight, LOL. That would be absolutely hilarious. Would also break my heart as well. Quickly, just catch up on the Pittsburgh Penguins. Hey, they're having a solid season this year, but lately things have been reeling, especially at home. These Penguins have now lost 5 straight games, 4 of which have come in either an OT loss or a shootout loss. They love the loser point this season. So it's not just that they've lost these games, but it's how they have lost these games. They blew a 2-1 lead to the Dallas Stars and lost in a shootout. Tristan Jarry was actually in the net for that hockey game. They then blew a 3-2 lead to the Anaheim Ducks, where the Ducks, I believe, scored with 0.1 seconds remaining on the clock, and then they lost in a shootout. They then lost, just got rocked 4-2 by Montreal. Tristan Jarry was in the net for that one as well. Then they blew a 5-1 third period lead to the San Jose Sharks, where, you guessed it, they lost in overtime in that hockey game, and it doesn't end there. They blew a 3-0 lead to Utah and lost in OT on Sunday as well. They are up to 9 loser points on the season, and that's the one thing that is keeping them afloat this year in the Eastern Conference in that mushy middle. The one thing I take away from that, Zachary, is that the Pittsburgh Penguins can grab an early lead. They can score some goals. They do have very respectable numbers this year, but can only imagine losing 5 in a row, but having to lose 4 of those 5 in such painful ways like that. It's reeling right now for the Penguins. I see why they were making moves.
Yeah, look what happens when you trade away a guy like Tristan Jarry, right? I mean,
falls apart as he was in 2 of those.
Oh, was he? Yeah. Well, okay. Well, look at what happened in the last 2 games after you traded away Tristan Jarry. Woo! I digress. Yeah, I don't know what the Pittsburgh Penguins are. It was a red hot start to the season for them. It feels like things are kind of cooling off a little bit here for the Penguins. I don't know how the team is going to take the trade of Jarry away. I don't know, man. It's going to be weird. It's interesting to see what's going to happen here with the Penguins the rest of the way. You know, they've got some interesting pieces there. Obviously, guys like Crosby, Malkin, Letang, but some of the depth pieces have kind of started stepping up too. Rookie Ben Kendall has been tremendous for them this season. Rutger McGroarty got called up here in recent weeks, jokingly calling him Rutger McGoaty because he takes a lot of shots on goal. So he's my new GOAT. But yeah, it's going to be fascinating to see what happens here. I mean, this is a blue line that's still very thin beyond guys like Letang and Carlson, even with Kulak there. Surely that's going to help kind of steady things a little bit on that third pairing. But yeah, I'll be interested to see what happens tonight and how they look moving forward.
Let's go now to our Need to Know info, brought to you by Will Hawk Beef Jerky. Only the finest tasting meat products earn the Will Hawk name, made from a 100% Alberta beef. Their jerky is aged, seasoned, smoked, and marinated to savory perfection. Bert, throw it up for me. The lines that we expect to see this evening for the Edmonton Oilers. There you see it. Top line, McHugh staying together. Nuge, McDavid, Hyman. Second line, also staying together. Potts, Dry, Matt, the boy, Savoy. And your third line is Andrew Mangiapane with Rico and Matthias Janmark. Your fourth, Trent Frederick with Curtis Lazar and Quinn Hudson making his season debut with the Oil. Then your deep pairing staying the same. Ekholm, Bush, Nurse, Reggie, Stastny with one tie. Emerson. Edmonton went 1-1 against Pittsburgh last year. They won 4-0 in October on the back of a Stuart Skinner shutout. Hope we don't see that tonight. And then they lost 5-3 to the Penguins on January. This is the first of two meetings this year. And then it's January 22nd at Rogers Place when the Penguins will be in town. You better be starting Stuart Skinner for that hockey game because that's going to be must-see TV. This is game 3 of a 5-game road trip for the Oil. They got Boston on Thursday. DJ Bean's going to be in attendance for that game. And then Minnesota on Saturday. Leon Draisaitl, we all know it. He's at 999 career points, 416 goals, 583 assists. He would become the 5th Oilers in franchise history to hit the 1,000-point mark and would become the 103rd player all time. Zach, you can name all 5 or 4 current players with 1,000 points for the Oilers?
McDavid. Oh, boy.
Gretzky.
Oh, like all
time. All time.
Oh, yeah. Gretzky, Messier, Jari Kurri.
Correct. And then bang, there it is. Leon Draisaitl would become the 5th. Then finally, Tristan Jarry going to start this. For the Penguins, their side, they are 14-8-9, 5th in the Metro, 37 points in 31 games played. And I believe they'd be 1 point out of a playoff spot. There you see it, the head-to-head numbers between these two teams. Pittsburgh stats actually pretty damn solid, dude. They're 11th in goals per game, and they have the number 1 power play in the entire NHL. The Oilers been slipping lately. Now the Penguins own that number 1 mantle. They're also 13th in goals allowed, and their PK very good as well. Top 5, 5th in the NHL. They're 4-2-4 in their last 10. And as I mentioned, they've lost 5 in a row, all in very painful ways. The injury list is kind of long. Evgeny Malkin, he's out week to week with an upper body injury. Blake Lizotte, Philip Hollander, and Tanner Howe are all on the IR, while former Oiler Caleb Jones is also on the IR. Sidney Crosby leads this team and points in the room everywhere. And with 3 tonight, would have sole possession of the franchise's all-time points record, 2 away from tying Mario Lemieux at 17-23. Brian Rust, he's been solid, 27 points, 29 games. Erik Karlsson, we know it, doesn't play much defense, plays a lot of offense. He's putting up points, 21 in 23 games, and still averaging over 24 minutes a night. And then Skinner making his debut. I don't think we need to really unpack his game. We know what Stuart Skinner is about. Let's go. Oodle Noodle home team lineup brought to you by Oodles of Nudes. We got some Oodle Noodle on Sunday night down here at the office. Me, Brett, and Daniel. Tonight's a Dogpatch night for the boys, though. Obviously, we're going to be eating good. But if you're not coming down here, and as I said, today and tomorrow, it'll be snowy as shit outside. If you work from home, you don't want to be driving around.
No.
I also feel bad as I say this. Get the delivery guy to drive around the city for you, but hey,
That's what they get paid for.
That's the job. That's the name of the game. And I'm sure there's more deliveries in the winter when people don't want to go. Shout out Oodle Noodle. They're doing great stuff with kids sport as well. Bert, you already took a look at it. I mean, you can just throw it up for the folks if they want. But Zachary, you kind of mentioned it. I want to talk about the bottom six and specifically some of those guys that you mentioned because the depth scoring has nearly completely vanished for the Edmonton Oilers. Key players are being paid good money and are not producing in this bottom six. I'm specifically talking Rico, Freddie, and Andrew Mangiapane. There's $10.45 million doled out between the three of them this season, and they have a combined 22 points on the year. Freddie has 2 goals, 3 points in 33 games. He has not scored a goal in 10 games. Mangiapane, 4 goals, 6 assists, 10 points in 33 games. The high-scoring man above the bunch here, and he hasn't scored a goal in 19 games. Don't worry, it gets worse. Adam Henrique has 2, 7, and 9 in 33 games. Enrico has yet to score a goal in his last 25 NHL hockey games. It's Rico earlier this year, I do think, got a bit of a pass because he was looking like a very engaged player. He was putting up some points, producing a bit. He was noticeable. And once again, I'm not here to totally rag on these guys, especially a guy like Rico, because we know what he brings to the game is all these other intangible areas, the PK, faceoffs, defensive zone, and everything. But even he would tell you 25 games without a goal is way too long for this guy to be on the schneid. I mean, it just simply isn't good enough. This team desperately needs Jack Roslovic to come back. We had Jason Greger on ONE earlier today. He mentioned he had a conversation with him. Roslovic, still hopeful to return by Christmas. Was feeling pretty good about at least returning after Christmas. It's always fun to play the game about where would you put who in this Oilers 12-man forward unit, but if it was me, I'd be throwing Jack Roslovic onto that third line to try and light a spark because Zachary, you heard that. Freddie, 10 games without a goal. Mangiapane, 19 without a goal. Rico, 25 without a goal. Simply not good enough.
Yeah, I look at these scoring stats and I think of one thing. My eyes, the goggles do nothing.
Excellent reference.
Deep pull for any of the Simpsons
Come
fans
on,
out there.
come on now.
Yeah, I mean, it's not good enough. There's no other way to sugarcoat it. Again, I think of everybody in that bottom six, Henry gets the biggest pass, so to speak, of all of them.
I'm most mad at Freddie, Monge, Rico.
Yeah, I agree with you there. And I mean, listen, Uncle Rico, he can still throw that pigskin over them mountains over there. So
back in 82, he could throw a pigskin a quarter mile.
That's right. So listen, the Oilers need more. There's just no way to sugarcoat it. Like what I think it's like something like 1.6 goals per hour of ice time from the Oilers bottom six at 5-on-5 this year. That's like abysmal numbers. That's like worst numbers in the league for goals per hours from a group. So the Oilers got to figure out a way to get these guys to step up here. It feels like the last number of games, there's been some tweaks with these lines in the bottom six and that third and that fourth line. Got to find something that works. Maybe Hudson can provide a spark. Roslovic, when he comes back from injury, I think I totally agree with you. Slot him back there on that third line because, man, this second line for the Oilers has looked really good with Draisaitl, Podkolzin, and Savoy. And even a guy like Podkolzin, there's getting to be some more offense in his game.
Yeah,
there's more confidence with that puck on his stick. And Savoy, that's going to continue to build for him as well here moving forward. So, yeah, see if they can just kind of grind through this next little bit and see if they can find a way to get on the board a bit.
I like Matt Savoy's game, but I'm not going to describe him as the same play driver, puck carrier, puck transporter that Jack Roslovic is. That you can just kind of plug in, play him in a spot, and he's going to be the man on that line. Let's go now. Starting goaltender report. Did you hear it? Skinner versus Jarry yet? Did you know? It's brought to you by Dogpatch, the very bar we are inside of right now. Going to be here. I'm pretty sure we're here tonight, Thursday, Saturday, and then that is it for the rest of December. I get to do multiple at-home shows at the end around New Year's and whatnot. So I'm very thankful for that. But then we'll be back here in January throughout the entire season. Dogpatch does it good. You got any idea what you're getting tonight?
Buddy, there's one thing that I get here.
Dogpatch greens with chicken?
Dogpatch greens with the Cajun chicken breast and extra toppings. They have this like pickled red onion, like crumble, like a little breadcrumb crumble and feta cheese on there. God, it's so good.
Oh, you're getting me fired up. Pull it up here, Brett, to tell the tape between the two goaltenders and the numbers. Tristan Jarry, look at that. Both wearing Oilers jerseys. Jarry, 10-3-1 with a 2.69 and a 9.08. He had an 8.93 his Oilers debut. And first game for one, Stuart Skinner. Where, Brett? Let's take a look at it. What does he look like out on the ice? Oh, Zachary. Oh, that hurts me. The 74 looks clean in the black and gold. If there's one thing about the Penguins, they got some sick ass jerseys. I love those. I don't know, that makes me feel kind of dirty to look at a little bit. There's our boy Brett Kulak in the background, 74 and 77. Not gonna lie to you, those jerseys, I kind of want a 74 Stu right now. Fired up for the both of them. What do you think of the look from our boy Stu?
Crazy. It's crazy to see, man. Really, really weird. Kind of interesting. Did you notice what number Brett Kulak is wearing there?
Did another former Oiler wear that there?
One Paul Coffey. Brett Kulak apparently rang up Koffs and asked him, hey, can I wear your old threads? And he said yes. I think this is the first time a Penguins player has worn 77 since Paul Coffey did during his time with the Penguins.
That is so cool.
Wild.
Shout out. So maybe Brett Kulak wasn't one of the guys that Paul Coffey wasn't driving with in the locker room. Granted, it was the coaching staff that we heard. Tristan Jarry, let's keep it going. I'm confident in him as well. He played in a lot of games for the Pittsburgh Penguins, so there will be emotion. I like that you said, and it's way too tough, right? I don't want to, for the rest of their careers, completely tie these two at the hip together. But that is exactly what I'm going to do for the rest of their careers, because the Oilers' Connor McDavid era might be entirely defined by both of these goaltenders, because we know the first two cup runs, whether you believe it or not, whatever. Stuart Skinner was a massive part of what them not winning or winning, whatever you want to say. And now here we are. Jarry, McDavid, both of their contracts will expire at the same time. So the next 2.5 years is on the two of these guys to get it going together. But I mean, you picking up what I'm laying down where I say, like, I don't want to entirely rope these two goaltenders and directly compare them for the rest of their careers, but I'm going to.
You kind of have to in one sense of the term. I mean, anytime you get traded for somebody else and player for player swaps, there's always going to be that comparison there. It's always going to kind of link.
Savoy McLeod.
Yeah.
But granted, exactly. That's a 1-for-1. So in this, there are other things, but
Hull for Larson.
I'm still too simple of a man. I'm going to look head to head.
Hull for Larson. How many years did we sit here in Edmonton talking about that trade?
Still
looking at what exactly. Listen, look at us. Eh? Like we're sitting here talking about it right now, right? Yeah, they're going to be intrinsically linked forever. For better or for worse, you made the point that, both McDavid and Jarry will have their contracts expire at the same time. So, it's going to be pretty crucial that, these next 3 years here, the Oilers figure out a way to get these guys lifting the Stanley Cup here in Edmonton. Because, boy, you never know what's going to happen.
Let me ask you this. Do you buy into that? I mean, you spend this many years in practice against a goaltender, watching it in the NHL playoffs, regular season, everything. I think Connor and Leon have like an extreme scouting report on one Stuart Skinner tonight, and that they may in fact be licking their chops. The service here at Dogpatch is just, you finish one beer, the moment you put it down, they present you with another beer.
I didn't even have to ask. Look,
God, it's good over here.
It's already right here.
Shout out to Mara. She does excellent stuff. But do you think there's some truth to that both these guys, maybe even the entire Oilers squad, might be licking their chops knowing they know the tendencies of Stuart Skinner?
Listen, you can't tell me that Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl never, ever sat on the bench during an Oilers game being like, oh my God, Stu, I wish you would have saved that one. You can't tell me that never happened. You can't tell me that the players don't know that Skinner is not great at lateral movement. Hey, maybe this is something the Edmonton Oilers can learn from here too, right? I mean, listen, we've seen the Oilers have some offensive struggles at times, throughout the years, and it feels like the cross-ice passes is one thing that's kind of been a bit of a struggle for them this season. They haven't capitalized on that as many times. So maybe we'll have to fire up a little like cross-ice pass shot meter here tonight and see how many get done for the Edmonton Oilers. They're going to have the scouting report. They know where to beat Skinner. They got to get him moving. That's the way you do it.
Get him moving side to side. Also, Brett, I think we have it here. We did it earlier today on ONE, the scouting report against one Stuart Skinner, and where to shoot on him. Zachary, go up high. Go pretty much everywhere up high, around his right ear, around his left ear, around his glove, around above his blocker. A lot of weaknesses there for Stuart Skinner. Obviously, dead center of the chest, 100%. But it's funny because we do these breakdowns on ONE for every other goaltender. We never really did it for Stuart Skinner, and then we do it today and went, holy fuck, those numbers are bad. So, some of that's not good. That's why we're now in the Tristan Jarry era for the future for the Edmonton Oilers. Let's go now to the away lineup brought to you by the Jasper Pond Hockey Tournament. Coming up this January 2026. Going to be a good time out there. Once again, I wouldn't know. Zach wouldn't know. Brett wouldn't know. Tyler said it rivals Nation Vacations to Vegas. That's how much fun it is. The moment he said it, my fucking heart shattered a little bit there, but we power through. We'll have a good weekend here down in Edmonton as well. But if you're thinking about going, still registration's open at nationgear.ca. Throw it up for me, Bert. The projected Pittsburgh Penguins lineup tonight: Ricard Raquel with Sidney Crosby and Brian Rust. Your second line, Rutger McGroarty with Ben Kindle and Justin Brazeau. Then Kevin Hayes, Tommy Novak, and Anthony Mantha, who is having a pretty good season thus far. Connor Dewar with Danton Heinen and Noel Achari. Your D pairings: Parker Wotherspoon with Eric Carlson, Ryan Shea with Chris Letang, and number 77, it's only playing Alberta's own, Brett Kulak with Jack St. Ivany. I don't know how to say his name. I'm assuming that's how you do that there. My eye immediately, we're only going to get to see this. I don't know how many more years. Sidney Crosby already, and he's had it for years now, touch of gray in his hair. He's obviously getting up there in years for professional athletes, but don't tell him that, because he is still 34 points in 31 games, above a point per game player this year. He's scoring goals. He's leading from the front. I am sure 5 straight losses, 4 of which coming in overtime, several of them being blown leads and third period blown leads. Something tells me Sidney Crosby's been speaking up in the locker room lately, saying this shit ends now. Once again, he is 2 points away from tying Mario Lemieux's Penn's record for franchise points. If he gets 3, he would break the record. You can't rush the ice, so for Leon, if he gets 0.1000, I think they're all rushing the ice. That's going to go down. For Sid, if he ties the record, you can't rush the ice.
Not for a tie.
But if he gets 3 tonight, could get the double rush. So looking for double shutouts. I don't even know what I want in this hockey game anymore. There's so much going on. But Zachary, I don't know if you knew this. Sidney Crosby confirmed, still really good at hockey.
A little high on the G split there.
No. That's a G split.
Oh, is it?
You found the G spot. It's a myth. It's
Never
a myth.
in doubt. Listen, this is an interesting Penguins lineup. This is a top line that has been basically all gas, no breaks this season.
You got that.
Thank you. I appreciate that. The defensive numbers for this top line have not been great this year, which is crazy to think about a Sidney Crosby line not being very good defensively, but it's been a struggle. Looking like it's going to be top 6 against top 6 here tonight. Expect a lot of Edmonton 1 going up against that Penguins top line, or their second line against the second line. This second line is kind of going to be the one that I'm going to have my eye on a little bit more here tonight. I talked about Ben Kindle a little bit earlier. Great start, rookie season here for him. I don't think anybody was expecting him to really make the Penguins, let alone be as good as he's been for them. Rutger McGroarty, a guy coming up here as well. Having some offensive success. So this is a top 6 to kind of keep an eye on for sure. But, it's worth mentioning that defensively, the Penguins have really been an absolute mess this season. The defensive metrics have really not been great for them. Their power play, as you talked about a little bit earlier, absolutely lethal. The Oilers have got to stay disciplined tonight and stay out of the penalty box. That is going to be my key to victory tonight for the Edmonton Oilers.
Yeah, that's power play number 1 in the NHL. Yes, God above.
I'm also going to be watching that second line because watching a forward where number 2 is just absolutely abysmal. Doesn't Will Smith also wear number 2 as well? He can kind of get away with it because he's kind of cutesy and Will Smith.
12.
Sorry?
Because he looks 12, he can get away with it.
Exactly. Yeah, it looks like the only jersey they had left that would fit him. They're like, sorry, buddy, it's number 2. I can relate. They only had like the big numbers, so that's why I'm number 25. They had to give me the big numbers. But number 2 for Rutger McGroarty looks fucking awful.
Yeah, it's funny. That's like, remember the jerseys were like sized, like number 1 was the smallest, and then 25 was the biggest. It was always number 8. Shout out Kobe. Shout out young Kobe Bryant.
Kobe.
That's what I was about. That's what I was about back in the day. Yep, there you see. The rest of it, obviously, no. Evgeny Malkin for the Penguins tonight. He's been out for a couple of weeks now with a UBI. Trying to make his way back. I also see Lance Gain just says, old man hockey team. Get off my lawn, Connor McDavid. Let's go now to BORDZY's Bankroll, brought to you by Bet365. Download the app today, because whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Zachary, I'm going to be real. I'm going to pull back the curtain. I have to shame reload right now. I have to do it live on the air, responsibly, of course. That Patriots game on Sunday had me down and out emotionally, financially, spiritually, physically. I don't even know why I just brought it up again, but it's because my account is empty on Bet365. Thank you very much, Josh Allen. I digress. Let's throw up Bordzy's bankroll, Bert. For me, kick it off. Look at that first photo there. I saw it in our group, like where everybody uploads photos into things, and I went, I'm going to have to find a way to use that photo. Feel dirty doing it
That's
because
hilarious.
Sid, I love you. But I only went with Sid 1+ point. He's on fire. He's really good at hockey. I think the McDavid versus Crosby matchup, if you're going to give me -210 for 1 point. I don't know about going for the full milestone game, as you see the third bet as well, involving Leon Draisaitl, but I like Sid for 1+ point. He's at 1 point in 4 of his last 5. And once again, point per game player this season. The second option, you know what? Let's get crazy with it. Tristan Jarry, over 23.5 saves at -125. So the Pittsburgh Penguins average 28 shots on goal per game. So by this, I said, okay, they could score 4. They could do whatever. Jarry knows the squad as well. And he had 25 saves in his Oilers debut against the Toronto Maple Leafs. And then the third one, you got to. It's .999 for Leon Draisaitl right now, looking for number 1,000. I think it's coming in his office at the face-off dot, over the left shoulder of Stuart Skinner, on the power play. I can see it now, painting you a picture with my imagination brush right now. That's how it's going down, and I like this. And these 3 bets, if you parlay them together, Zach, +500 on Bet365. So that's some good juice right there. Which of these 3 bets do you like the most? And do you got any? Of course, you got something going on here. I see it.
I just threw a little something together.
Cover for me while I shame reload.
Easily. Leon Draisaitl anytime goal. I like this one a lot. Feels like it's going to happen here tonight. I honestly like all 3 of them. Kind of juicy line on that Crosby one. You're really chasing after it at -210 there. Not to anything like that. I respect it. Parlay all those together. I like this spot here tonight for the Edmonton Oilers. My parlay that I'm rolling with, McDavid, Nugent Hopkins, Hyman, all 3 of them to score 1+ point, +135. This line has been on fire, man. In the 8 games that they've been back together, 6.3 goals for per hour of ice time, like 17 high danger scoring chances per hour of ice time. They've absolutely been on a roll here. So riding with the top line here tonight, I like the spot for them. It's going to be a fun game, man. I'm really excited for this one. I really am.
It went down to +480. Run, don't walk to Bet365 because I'm about to place this as well. So I'm gonna mess up your odds as well. Brett, got anything cooked up there, got above, or thoughts on Bordzy's bankroll this evening? Pre-gaming is a show that is about optimism and positivity, and I got this guy pissing on me from above, literally and figuratively. Bart, what do you got going at Bet365 then?
Nothing. I got nothing going today. And taking a game off. Taking a game off today. I'm gonna enjoy the game without praying for I don't know, something to hit. So I'm just taking a game off. I have to sit back and reconsider. You know, you have to what is that called? Watch a little film, all that. Regroup. I gotta regroup and see what we're hammering next.
Gotta watch some tape.
It's a new team in front of us, brother.
He's the god above, literally and figuratively. Also, Southpaw said, Bordsy Ross. We'll just paint a little Leon Draisaitl goal right over here. Just nice and easy. Don't force it. Shout out Bob Ross. Shout out Southpaw as well. Final question I got for us and chat. Score predictions. Anytime goal score.
5-1 Edmonton Oilers victory, and we're gonna go Leon Draisaitl.
Is it
bankroll.
All 5 against Stuart Skinner, or is there an empty net?
4 are going to be against Stuart Skinner, and 1 is going to be against his backup.
Oh, holy fuck, that would be. Brett, what about you? Score prediction, anytime goal score.
I feel bad for that.
That'd be.
I think the Oilers are going to run over the Pens tonight. I think it'll be a 6-2 game. And let's go with I almost said Brett Kulak. I'll go with why not Quinn Hudson?
Good.
Get the good guy in there. Why not the young kid?
All I heard was Brett Kulak, anytime goal scorer, hammered on Bet365 responsibly, according to my boy Brett Holden. I'm going 5-2. Stuart Skinner's going to allow all 5. It's going to be a little bit of a little touch and go moment here for Pens fans as they get the first experience. Don't expect all games to be like this, but I do think the Oilers, they have the scouting report. The book is out on Stuart Skinner, especially to these guys, and I think they're going to take full advantage of that. But that's what pregame is about, positivity and drinking a couple brews as well. I love you all. Zach, I love you,
I love you too, buddy.
as well. Brett, the God above, everybody in the chat, all the sponsors, I appreciate you. Throw down your courtesy like on your way out. Make sure you are subscribed to the ON YouTube. Get your ass down at Dogpatch. I think I'm feeling the meatball sub again tonight. I'll let you know on post game. We'll hopefully be breaking down a Tristan Jarry S word. I'll say it. Shut out. I'm looking. Nice stellar victory. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. But I love you all. I appreciate you all. Zach and I and Brett will be live for ONAD in a couple hours. Keep it locked to the ON YouTube right after the hockey game. Good luck out there on the Bet365 Battlegrounds. Over and out.